Greetings. More than a decade ago, I made a video titled Lashawan Quadash, Ancient Hebrew. It was the first video critical of Lashawan Quadash to appear on the internet. And originally it was on the Truth After Knowledge account. The Truth After Knowledge account no longer exists. But since 2011, it's been on the TAK Classics account. Later on, in 2015, Zion Lex re-uploaded my video onto his YouTube account and also posted it to his Facebook account. And from what I've been told, it was initially unclear that he had gotten the video from another source. Apparently, initially, people were under the impression that he had made the video. And I was interested to find out that one of the first people to raise an objection in that regard happened to be a gentleman named Ahlazar Ban Lawya, also known as Guerrilla Hebrew, who is the head of the Sicarii Israelite group.
So Zion Lex publishes a damn video within the last couple of nights. Zion Lex publishes a damn video, and in Zion Lex video, he calls himself coming against the Lashawan Quadash, founded in One West, rediscovered through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai at One West, at the original school, 125th Street, right? He called himself rebutting that, trying to refute it, using basically plagiarized information. Be original, homie. Please. Because that was plagiarized information. Okay, we can deal with the linguistics if we need to at any point.
I found it interesting that at the end of that clip, he said that he was willing to discuss the linguistics, to discuss this language issue at any time. That was a little less than 4 years ago, and I don't know if he has in fact produced videos defending Lashawan Quadash. I don't really follow his channel. Now, to be clear, I don't mean that in a disparaging way. What I mean is, unfortunately, my time is very limited, so there's a lot on the internet that I miss, but I am under the impression that he has a very popular channel. Nonetheless, unfortunately, I haven't had time to examine it closely, so I don't know if he's made any videos discussing the issue, defending Lashawan Quadash, presenting a case for Lashawan Quadash. I do know that the aforementioned gentleman known as Zion Lex has continued to be critical of Lashawan Quadash. However, I don't know if he and Guerrilla Hebrew, he and Ahlazar Ban Lawya, have ever had a discussion on the subject within the last 4 years. If anyone knows of any relevant links, please share them with me. Whatever the case, fast forward to just this past evening, I was browsing Vocab Malone's Facebook forum, which is dedicated to Hebrew Israelite and Christian debate and discussion and dialogue. And there was a post in there from Vocab noting that the Sicarii group was doing a live review of video footage of Vocab's recent interaction with another Israelite group called One Body in Yahweh Shai. Apparently, during the course of the review of the exchange, the Sicarii group received some criticism in the video live chat from still another Israelite group known as Israelites Tried and Refined. And so Ahlazar Ban Lawya took a break from his review of the exchange between Vocab and One Body and Yahweh Shai to offer some counter-criticism to this group, which had apparently been criticizing his group. And it just so happened that I turned on the video right while he was in the midst of that criticism. It was around 11:30 p.m. last night, and right as I pull the video up, Ahlazar Ban Lawya was saying something quite interesting and something relevant to Lashawan Quadash. So listen to this clip, which pretty much picks up where the video was at when I first entered.
So now we see another group of Christians have to get exposed today, not just Vocab and them. The guys who call themselves Israelites Tried and Refined. We call them their proper name. It's called Israelites Tried and Refuted, because we've refuted them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai so many times. And if what we're teaching is wormwood and dogma, right, why do you still stay Yahweh in Yahweh Shai? Why do you still say that? Because that you got that from the same guys that taught you everything else that you said was wrong. Yet you still follow their form of Hebrew. Right?
Now, to explain that a bit, the group that Ahlazar Ban Lawya was addressing, the group known as Israelites Tried and Refined, is a group which splintered off from Great Millstone. So, and apparently since breaking away from Great Millstone, they've rejected some of the things which they were taught by the Great Millstone group, such as, for example, the 12 Tribes sign. So Ahlazar Ban Lawya was pointing out that they still, despite rejecting some GMS doctrines, they still hold on to Lashawan Quadash. So Ahlazar was asking, if they now reject the teachings of GMS, of Great Millstone, why do they still hold on to Lashawan Quadash? I find that question very interesting because it seems to come very close to positing or tacitly assuming that it's not possible to reach a conclusion in favor of Lashawan Quadash on one's own, like after an examination of the available evidence. Rather, it has to be inherited from another group. Now, to be fair, I suppose that Ahlazar could clarify that, in his opinion, it is possible to reach a conclusion in favor of Lashawan Quadash after examining the evidence, but he doesn't feel that the group he was criticizing is studious enough to reach that point, or intellectually curious enough to reach that conclusion. Nonetheless, his statement struck me as very similar to a statement which Tahar, the leader of GMS, himself had made in December of 2017, which I recently included in a past video, and which I think is worth repeating here. In this clip, Tahar was criticizing groups which had broken away from GMS, and I'm pretty sure it included the group called Israelites Tried and Refined.
All you guys that left GMS or got kicked out or whatever the case may be, you guys still call on the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, which you got from us. The Spirit didn't come down. Hey, a man in a gray suit didn't come in your kitchen and tell you the Most High's name is Yahweh and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. You got that from us, and you believed it through faith that was his name. You guys still keep your same ancient Hebrew names, the Lashawan Quadash. You still say Hebrew words in the Lashawan or the so-called Lashawan Quadash. All right, whether it's made up or not, according to a vocab alone, you got that from us, and you believed it through faith.
These clips are of interest to me because they relate to a question I have wanted to put on the table for over a decade. Is there evidence for Lashawan Quadash? Note that in the first clip I played from 2015, Ahlazar described Lashawan Quadash as founded at One West and rediscovered by One West. While others might take a different view, I interpret that as likely meaning that he believes one would not have Lashawan Quadash were it not for the Israeli Church of Universal Practical Knowledge, which was at One West 125th Street in Manhattan. It also seems to potentially entail that no one would know of the system, or no one knew of the system of pronunciation before One West brought it out. Meanwhile, in the clip from Tahar, he rather flatly says that former members of his group accepted Lashawan Quadash on faith. And Ahlazar likewise seems to think that former members of GMS who still hold the Lashawan Quadash simply received that system from GMS, which is to say he does not seem to think they arrived at that conclusion after their own personal examination of the evidence. Be that as it may, I continue to be interested in the subject of evidence for and or against Lashawan Quadash, and I therefore would be interested in seeing others make a case for why they believe what they believe, whether it be in a correspondence or via video they may make when time permits, or perhaps a video which they've already made. Feel free to send me any links anyone has. So in short, I look forward to the comments from others. I think we can have a cordial dialogue on this very interesting subject. In the meantime, I hope to have another video on Lashawan Quadash out later this week, God willing. On that note, God bless.